See if they make some adjustments in Game 3 for the picks and bans. Mouse up against Obey. All the marbles on the line. Obey will be the first pick selection, 1-1. And doesn't this kind of show what we've been talking about, that Mouse are just looking better? Even if they don't win this game, which I pretty much prefer, they're looking good, I would say, up against some of the best teams in Europe right now. This is a team you don't want to play in placements.
No, this is by far, I think, probably one of the nightmare teams to go against in placements because they're already fairly unpredictable as far as drafting is concerned. Not only that, but they have so many different God pick selection choices where even if you do guess them right away, you might not necessarily guess who's going to be piloting them. That interchangeability, I think, is one of the prime reasons why Mouse tends to have a little bit of an upper hand over some of their opponents, and they at least managed to catch Obey a little bit off guard there in that second match.
Yeah, they're going to see if they can do that again here in number 3, where they take away the Athena and the Chernobog. Again, a lot of what we've already seen banned out. Freya, Discordia, still very similar. But Obey, want to go back to the Odin, and this is surprising to me. I don't think iRaffer impressed very much in Game 2 in this Odin, so they would prioritize it. Number 1 is surprising.
But this might be a priority pick because of Twig Odin.
Right,
if it's Twig Odin, I am 100% happy to see Twig on the Odin. I do agree with you, though. I think iRaffer struggled just a little bit on the Odin, at least once things extended past that initial laning phase. One thing I really have always enjoyed about CaptainTwig on the Odin pick is that it feels like he just knows where the perfect ring placement is going to fall at every single time and the exact moment to use it.
And it's very surprising that Mouse would pick these two very Dash-relevant characters into that, right? The ultimate from Mercury definitely gets blocked. If Naja wants to win Fire Wheels through, that's blocked off as well. He doesn't even need to lock them in. He can lock them out of the fight and limit their impact by a lot.
Oh, there's also the slow from Odin's 3, Gungnir's Might, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
But when that interferes with the Raijin, that might prompt Raijin to dash a little bit ahead of time. And in that case, then you are probably going to be eating the full force of that Odin Bird Bomb shortly after, because you're still slowed despite getting your escape off. You're not going to be going the same distance that you might have been originally because of how slow you're moving.
Well, double assassins make me think this is another Cherryo Naja going to be coming out here, right? At least that's what it was last time. So hard to predict with Mouse, but that at least seems to be the writing on the wall. And if so, they do have a lot of strong tools. I know the Odin is a big problem for them, and it really is, but Mercury, really one of the top assassins you could ask for right now. Taco, Naja, very strong as well. Raijin is a ton of damage and lane clear early. This draft could definitely still work for Mouse.
It's got to be Zeus, though, again, for PrettyPriMe, right?
Yeah, why not?
Mouse chose to ban away the Vulcan. They banned out the Pwash, and I can't blame them. Pwash and Vulcan are both really strong ban choices when there's already an Odin on the board.
Oh.
Zhong instead. Okay, that one actually catches me a little bit by surprise here. I would assume that the reason being for this Zhong is that the natural protections involved with this kit could make him a very difficult target to try and single out. In match 2, PrettyPriMe was having a lot of struggles with handling Nika, so this time around, Obey won't have to be as attentive towards their mid laner because he'll still have some nice turn and burn prowess, but I just think that the survivability overall is going to be a little bit better faring on that Zhong in comparison to the Zeus.
Yeah, it might make it a little bit harder for Mercury and Naja to burn him as quickly as the Zeus would have been in that back line. So this Zhong can certainly be strong. It's also great with the Odin cage, great with Earth and Fury. If everyone's been hit by the Terra ultimate, if everyone's stuck in the cage, then Zhong ult's probably the ult you want. That's going to be getting out to everyone, doing tons of damage, ticking over, and helping to pop those stones too.
Artio feels a little out of place here for Mouse.
Maybe so.
I'm actually on par with everything else that they've got going for them, even despite the fact that they've all picked into the Odin. But I think that's the big thing for me, is that you've got your primary damage dealers all essentially playing into the clutches of Obey here with that Odin ultimate.
And they knew about it. It was first picked, and Mouse feel confident they can get it done either way. We're about to find out, though. 1-1, game number 3 here, Taco, between Obey and Mouse. Let's get the action underway.
So a wallaby is basically a baby kangaroo, totally.
Okay, that I can believe.
iRaffer gonna make a big boy jump on top of Dardez Cherryo, unleash his relic nice and early. He's by himself though, so not exactly a lot of kill potential. iRaffer just feeling like iRaffer right now.
I mean, between his health chalice and 5 health potions, this is the idea. You get those double ticks going, you're getting 20 health every second from this, and you're even able to tank up the wave to make sure that Ataraxia doesn't miss too much even able to defend his own purple buff, not giving anything up to Mouse on the jungle side.
Ataraxia able to go ahead and solo the red buff, put that on himself. Now, here's the wave. And he's able to go ahead and make it happen, if you will.
Good start, I think, for Ataraxia, being able to get that red buff. Gives him an experience advantage over Dardez. Will lose some gold under the tower, not the end of the world, but now that he's hit that level 2 marker, there is some kill potential. Keep in mind that Cherryo, not level 2 quite yet.
iRaffer here in between Dardez and Cherryo, trying to defend the purple. Nice knock-up. That's really clean.
Just a little bit of damage. Nothing to write home about, but it's just setting up for kill potential later down the road. But a lot of health potions for Cherryo as well, as he started himself the health chalice. Normally we don't see it from the supports too often.
That's a solo lane mentality.
Yeah, a little bit, I would say, but I think that they're expecting a lot of early game aggression, both of these players, so they're making these adaptations to follow suit.
Well, it's also you're playing Odin, you're playing Naja. These are very aggro supports, so
Yes.
you certainly want to look in that direction. Just look for the sustain. You're going to be fighting early often. Definitely want to get that going. Nika and Xaliea on the Terra, Nika on the Bear Mom here.
Both going with Guardian's Blessing, just trying to make sure that they get that extra GP5 to accelerate them through that mid game. I don't necessarily fault a lot of these Guardians to pick this up because 48 gold per minute extra, sure, sign me up.
A koala is a baby bear.
No, that I don't agree with.
We'll have to teach you something. It's okay. It's all right. What does an alligator sing to its baby make it go to sleep?
I'm afraid to even hear what the answer is.
Rock-a-bye baby.
Nod of disapproval.
Red buff invade from mousesports. Successful? Yes. Cherryo able to pick it up. Will he be punished? Different answer. PrettyPriMe shows up. Jump by iRaffer. Damage negated. Knocked up. Put down. Shell good. See you later. CaptainTwig picking up first blood for Obey Alliance.
Uh-oh, but BigManTingz is going to fall as well. Sacrificing yourself for red buff. I can maybe, just maybe, allow that to occur, but losing your mid laner on top of it, a sloppy start from mousesports. Not able to give the escape route after the invade is what really hurt them.
A monkey is a baby ranked player.
That I believe.
Bring out the drum. BigManTingz playing one of PrettyPriMe's favorite characters here, actually. PrettyPriMe on the Zhong character we don't necessarily see him on all that often. Occasionally, as of late, we've seen him bring it out, but really, I associate PrettyPriMe with those immobile, high output mages. Opwash, Zeus.
I knew you were going to do that.
Dardez didn't know CaptainTwig was going to do that. Aegis activated, that's good enough. Turn a burn on Ataraxia, bring them down to 60.
So this whole idea from Obey Alliance is to test how well they can face off against Mercury in this last game.
Face off.
They basically hold that thought though, and there's the first test.
And the ultimate coming out from Prime. He's gone. Prime is like, nah, I don't want this whatsoever. Turns around. And iRaffer falls down. A little bit rough there. Cherryo shows up looking for Raxia. Won't get it.
Yeah, not being able to handle the Mercury. That's level 5 with only a Golden Blade. Doesn't even have 10 penetration from the Evolved Assassin's Blessing. It's only going to get scarier as the game progresses.
What's your take on Golden Blade? Because I don't know if it's a good item.
I think it's very great on Mercury.
Do you?
And no one else.
Well, because, so the idea behind old Golden Bow was that it had critical strike, so it fitted exactly what Mercury wanted to do, and it allowed him to clear early. Merc, at this point in the game, he clears early no matter what.
Well, you're basically one-shotting back camps with just Major Look. You don't even have to get close to the melee range. You throw out the ability that has an 8-second cooldown, and you move on with your life, because you're getting extra damage from the Assassin's Blessing, extra damage from the Golden Dagger, or sorry, not the Golden Blade, and that farming time efficiency just increases so much that, yeah, it definitely is worth it because you can even ignore the boots.
Oh my goodness! Catching him in the pre-teleport, and PrettyPriMe brings him down. BigManTingz falls for the second time. That
That's going to hurt.
Catch.
That's going to hurt. With his Aegis still down for 30 seconds, it was a nice play from Obey Alliance. Interrupting that Thunder Crash is not the easiest thing to do. A little bit of fortune on the side of Obey Alliance as they find their 3rd kill.
You say Wheel of Fortune?
Not a little bit of fortune.
I'm more of a Jeopardy fan. This is Jeopardy. I sound nothing like that guy.
Not many people can pull it off.
Can you?
No.
Give it a shot.
I will not.
Do it, Tully. Do it, Tully.
I can't. Tom, I can't.
Is there any other game show that you sound like? Maybe.
I don't think of these things on my spare time, Tom.
You don't sit there and go, what game show does that?
No.
When you hear the beep, it's Supermarket Sweep. No?
I don't even know what show that is.
I'll give you a hint. It's called Supermarket Sweep.
Okay. What year was this show around?
I don't know. I remember watching it when I was like 5. 98.
My favorite was Price is Right.
Come on down.
Okay. The second one, I was like, the first one, it sounds like you were like a chicken from Rome Royale or something like that.
No,
Almost.
that's
part of it.
shouts to Kret, by the way.
Oh, Cherryo. Making another play onto CaptainTwig, but just not having that much damage. But that's where BigManTingz comes in.
But still, not enough to take care of the jungler. Here's the ring. Cherryo going to be turned on. Big damage. 3 players. CaptainTwig says, how dare you? FrostiaK from the right to the left. Cuts it down, but he's just crossing the street. He's looking for the red buff invade. PrettyPriMe doing it right now. The Mercury going to say, what up? And
Golden Blade.
Steal it.
That's right.
Major
So much damage from the Assassin's Blessing, Golden Blade combination. BigManTingz, no mana. CaptainTwig not going to invest the tower dive, especially with a wave there. Maybe he looks for it if there wasn't a wave, but better safe than sorry. Still forces the back from BigManTingz, eliminating some farming time out of that.
Odin's such an interesting character. Very basic, but the ring, just such a dynamic and game-changing ultimate.
Level 4 Major Look with Golden Blade clears the mid-harpies, and he walks on by. You can't even contest it.
That's fair.
That's why Golden Blade is so important. Like, to the point that FrostiaK is going to first build it, like ignoring boots.
Right. Well, it's working out for him so far. He does have half a level lead above CaptainTwig, despite CaptainTwig's 100% kill participation, 2 kills and 2 assists on the jungle Erlang Shen.
And the thing about that is it's a very misleading statistic to go by of, oh, this player has more kills than assists. He should, in theory, be ahead. But not necessarily always the case, because at the end result of the kills, you're probably triple sharing waves to the point where FrostiaK is still clearing jungle camps by himself.
Well, certainly a thought process there.
That's why I think it was yesterday, I believe, Anister playing the Odin did a remarkable job setting up his team for a lot of kills, but Sino was making a lot more plays in the jungle, getting that level lead on the Naja instead.
And ultimately, the Odin, despite, I mean, what was he, 5-1-8? He had a fantastic game.
He did.
Unfortunately, did not bring the win home. So, a very interesting, conversation about jungle efficiency and what is a lead if you're not using it to do the Smite game thing.
CaptainTwig yet again goes up to this guy, but remember what happened last time? It was a turnaround play where Obey was able to eliminate a lot of players, but this time, iRaffer just too far away from the rest of his teammates. He goes down first.
FrostiaK comes through, misses the ultimate onto CaptainTwig, and Exorcism going to miss as well. Obey, a lot of stuff on cooldown, but nobody really going for the pull.
That movement speed is a little bit too much to handle. There goes Earth and Fury as Xaliea makes his presence known. PrettyPriMe throwing out the ghost. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, BigManTingz forced to retreat.
Cherryo with a big heal there. Beautiful play from the support, Naja. mousesports playing a little bit better today than we've seen them as of late.
I would say so, but losing out one member now. FrostiaK able to make more plays. Xaliea not able to escape the clutches there. Good knockup from CaptainTwig. Takes out Dardez. Cherryo able to hide away underneath Nika. Thinking about how he's going to re-engage. CaptainTwig is so low.
He's going to be chased down. Nika's here, but with Ataraxia. Excuse me, CaptainTwig. He's going to shy away from it. Meanwhile, two players die in the mid lane. Nice job there coming out from iRaffer. Just doing it. 1, 2, and 4 for the support Odin. And boy, has he had a very interesting set. I really liked watching iRaffer, even in the loss last game. I really like what iRaffer's been able to bring.
And he's not done yet. Was thinking about stealing away that speed buff while FrostiaK is dead, and that's what you're really looking to do, either the speed buff or the back camps while the enemy jungler is dead. But Obey Alliance using this opportunity to get an 11-minute gold, Fury.
Nice. That's going to be in the pocket as standard. That's the classics. 1975 is the gold lead. One of your favorite years, Tully.
Yeah.
What were you doing back in 1975? You don't.
Not alive.
Not alive.
No.
Huh? No. I mean that was the disco era. You should have been staying alive. But you
Good save.
You just weren't.
No. I was not staying alive, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought of a better one, by the way. Chimpanzee is a baby monkey.
It is a small monkey, but that doesn't make it a baby monkey, Tom.
It's like a pony is a baby horse.
That's like calling a cupcake a baby cake.
I already call. I said that before.
I do not recall.
I'm just saying, cupcake is just a cake. They just made another name for it because it's little. No reason for that. You don't need that. You just call it
Because you
a
can
little
fit
cake.
it in a cup, Tom.
But you just call it a little cake. You can fit a big cake into a cup if you got a big cup.
But we're talking about a regular cup.
But you ever see one of those? You ever see one of those big like
Sure.
steins? You can put a cake in that.
It'd be a small cake.
You-
Stein is 48 ounces, no?
You know those oversized coffee mugs that say like, you know, God is a mom or something ridiculous? It's like that. You can put a cake in that. Cherryo gonna get taunted here. CaptainTwig biting off more than he can chew until the ring bounce happens and Ataraxia just says, "What up?" Surprise play on the left-hand side. Not so surprised in the middle lane.
2-on-2.
goes down.
That was just a straight up 2-on-2 between support and mid versus mid and jungle, which should favor the mousesports, honestly. But PrettyPriMe just doing too much damage. And without a phantom out of mousesports, once you trap in that Mercury, he has nowhere to go.
That's true. Middle lane just going to be easily taken by Obey. 2 kills opens up the door, and 13:37. Obey certainly looking like the lead crew right now. Xaliea on the right side running away.
Left side without the rotation. Dardez able to get his team 500 gold. Ataraxia not able to really defend that one. I believe he did get bullied away.
Look at Raijin going rage.
With explosive bolts, there's a lot of opportunity to get that AoE crit damage. So even if you are hitting, let's say, Nika, if FrostiaK is nearby, that's really going to hurt. And
Yeah.
I'm expecting more crits. Like Deathbringer should be a focus point as well for Ataraxia. Maybe even baiting out a Thorns out of Nika. And then we could even see, if the game really stretches long, to see a hard switch away from crit as a result.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, that's the beginning of Season 5. Was the conversation between crit versus Chinsai builds for hunters, and it really just revolved around, did they buy Thorns?
That's right.
No? Then go crit.
And normally, yeah, that's why I'm surprised that he goes crit right now
Exactly.
instead of waiting to see if Nika's going to go Thorns. But because Nika's level 13 and still holding on to his relic, picking up Phantom as Cherryo picks up Sprint, the only remaining member that can even get Thorns is the FrostiaK, and no reason for a Mercury to get that. You need some CC immunity. You need Aegis as well to survive against PrettyPriMe.
Full speed ahead. Go all crit. That's really what you want to look for.
Yeah. Mousesports.
That's actually very interesting that Doug points out there. 4 kills for mousesports, but they're leading in player damage. Here we're going to see a turnaround as Obey Alliance are the ones that continue to get the kills. CaptainTwig on the good side of that one. Might be on the bad side. A solid shell, but he'll die here to Cherryo. Support player getting his kills in.
Sprint going to allow Cherryo to walk away. Good stun as well onto iRaffer, preventing a little bit of that damage. Making the rotation from the side is Dardez. He is on a decent power spike now with level 14 on the ROM. Maxed out, pick me up. Executioner having the penetration to burn whoever is in front of him. iRaffer could get caught out of position if he's not too mindful. But he's just going to walk underneath it. And this is where things are going to be dicey for mousesports if Obey can find some more kills, stacking up the rage for Ataraxia, going from 30% critical strike to 40%. That splash damage is certainly going to get felt.
16 kills in 16 minutes. Obey Alliance looking for the set here, as they are slightly in the lead. They took game number 1. Game number 2 went to Mouse in interesting fashion. I would say it was in between a really, it wasn't a blowout, but it certainly wasn't one of those slow, trudging games either. It was just kind of Mouse gradually got a lead and then hit the gas on lap 4 and took the game. Really moderately paced. FrostiaK gets his ultimate cut short, and his life going to be just the same by iRaffer. Up in the sky goes Ram. Dardez trying to find a target. Now up in the sky goes Cherryo, and he brings his target Ataraxia along with him.
But no
Dardez dies to the Raffer one more time. 2 kills for the support.
No follow-up on Ataraxia because there was more attention on the other side. Raffer with a nice little double kill. 3 picks for Obey Alliance, and with Gold Fury back up, this is looking like Obey's second Gold Fury to secure.
CaptainTwig zoning out Nika. Raffer down to 33%, so he's got to be on out of there. The Gold Fury pulled and ultimately will be taken by Obey Alliance, and that'll put them even further in the lead. Now up to a 5,051-81 gold lead.
The timing from CaptainTwig to interrupt FrostiaK's dash, that was like some next level Jedi mind games between the 2 players. Because honestly, FrostiaK could have just like 180 dashed away to the safety of the dual lane, but instead wanting to really get through to the safety of the north side. Sometimes the safest option is towards your enemy side of the base, not necessarily your own. So good recognition from CaptainTwig, catching the dash, and then the ultimate from Raffer, despite getting cut off by the Gold Fury. Because whenever that Gold Fury or any objective walks through a wall, you're able to cut that one off. It was still enough follow-up damage out of PrettyPriMe that hasn't had the most player damage in the game, as that's being led by CaptainTwig, but it's certainly going to get felt even harder now with Spear the Mag is completed.
Mousesports right now, they're behind the 8 ball totally. Their composition, Mercury really has to be kind of getting off to a start. He's not really doing that. How does Mousesports fight their way back into this one?
I think it's a lot of just counter engages. You can't allow FrostiaK to get picked off 1v1 like that situation, as Cherryo's going to get taunted back in. CaptainTwig taking a whole lot of damage. Earth and Fury going to heal him for a little bit, but here comes the snipes. Phantom and Shell, not enough.
Oh, Dardez with the shots, taking out CaptainTwig. Cherryo low. Xaliea going to put him down. PrettyPriMe with the last hit off of the assist from the solo lane Terra.
PrettyPriMe getting targeted out by Nika. BigManTingz looking for the follow-up damage. Percussive Storm is good. And with that 1 pick yet again, they're not done yet because FrostiaK is setting up Nika on top of Xaliea. I think this could be a Fire Giant, actually.
It could be. 3 for 1.
They're a little low.
All the damage dealers from Mousesports are up, but low, as you mentioned. Raffer local.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Raffer is going to get caught out and taken out. Now, this should be a free Fire Giant.
Ataraxia is here. They don't know it. They haven't seen him just yet. He's going to go in way too early, but he's going to pop one. He gets the kill out of FrostiaK, playing it safe. Doesn't want to go for the steal. Doesn't want to go for the steal. Go for the steal. Raxia drops something. The beads are used to keep himself from being knocked up. Mousesports take the Fire Giant, and he loses the duel versus Nika. Ataraxia did not have the ultimate. Could not go for that one. Just had to play from the back line. CaptainTwig gets joined here by Xaliea. Earth and Fury as soon as the TP comes through. CaptainTwig in the sky. Cherryo not doing much damage whatsoever with that build. And now Xaliea trying to do what he can to Cherryo and Nika.
The stun to disengage. Ring bounce is going to disrupt Obey Alliance from continuing the chase even further. Dardez and FrostiaK losing Fire Giant buffs is still going to allow BigManTingz, however, to have that late game damage. It was a nice attempt out of Ataraxia to find the initial kill onto FrostiaK. But the problem was, you got to respect the firing damage, and that's why he was a little hesitant to stay within that circle and going back in and out of it, Aegis or no Aegis. He was not able to win the 1v1 after the fact because Nika, level 19 Artio, has plenty of ability damage to follow up.
That's the whole kind of game plan, right? Cherryo just lining players up. His player damage obviously very low, but he's a support. That's totally fine.
I thought he was going to go for the steal, not necessarily the kill.
Same.
But that was an interesting idea. A late game Mercury stripping away his Fire Giant. Nice little touch there. It's going to probably prevent mousesports from really sieging any Phoenix, or Phoenixes for sure, or maybe even any towers.
The kill on the FrostiaK, I think, was the 200 IQ play. That is Nate just knowing better than I, right? I immediately see go for the steal attempt, and he kills the jungler. Love that play. Mwah. More, please. Thank you. Love you, Nate. After the fact, I would have liked to see the steal, look for the steal after FrostiaK dies, but I guess he had limited options.
Yeah.
The knockup was still on cooldown.
No ultimate either. He uses agility thinking that he was going to get turned on. I think he panicked that he was going to get turned on, so he 180 agilitied away. And if he was patient on that ability, he could have walked back in rather safely and probably stay alive up against Nika.
That's true. Cherryo here, surrounded. Going to go on PrettyPriMe. Nice job avoiding the ring. Rapper, half HP. Earth and Fury. Team fight starting. PrettyPriMe walking up middle lane. BigManTingz already put to sleep. Dardez also going to take a nap. 2 players down on mousesports. Rapper with the up down, but Ataraxia put all the way down. FrostiaK on the good side. CaptainTwig and Xaliea trying to take care of this support Najah. He's so tanky. He's so slippery. He got the stanky leg as well. And he about to sash his way out of here.
He's walking towards Obeys
He avoided the spin.
tower. The route is good. Cherryo still between a rock and a hard place. Will apply the slow to get some movement speed boost, but CaptainTwig now with a Fatalis effect can't stop that one.
Moving and grooving.
A 3 for 2. At the end of the day, Obey Alliance was able to make that successful because of FrostiaK overshooting his targets with the Sonic Boom. Did manage to come back into the action with a nice blink and kill onto Ataraxia to at least even things out.
Man, Cherryo right there. I love watching a support waste the time of the opposition. Not enough time for mousesports to answer this Gold Fury, as Nika and friends are going to be over at the red buff. FrostiaK will solve the pyro. Cool, you got crit. We get it. You're a Mercury. But, we've seen this 4th item Urchin a lot in the jungle. Talk to me a little bit about its efficiency and why it's a good choice.
So once you fully evolve it, I believe you get 51 protections on both sides, a little bit of a health shield to be able to heal back up when you're out of combat. And that, in theory, with how mobile FrostiaK is,
right?
That's the goal. He comes in, takes a little bit of damage after the Sonic Boom. He's trying to look for a kill with a major look, and that extra health shield is going to get him back up into combat, or allow him to make round number 2 appearance, right? So once he gets Deathbringer after the Rage, that one-shot potential is certainly there. I believe after he sells his Assassin's Blessing in conjunction with the Height of Urchin, because you need something else with it. You just can't go only Height of Urchin. He's probably going to go for the Spirit Robe, so that when he does get disrupted by PrettyPriMe, he'll receive that 15% damage mitigation and be an absolute nightmare. Because once you get Rage and Deathbringer, your damage is already there. You don't need penetration necessarily. Your damage is going to be felt by the likes of PrettyPriMe that has no defensive items online.
Hey, look. Left side, the minions are going to take it. Oh, just barely. I thought we were going to have another
that would have
MVP
been cute.
minion.
Not today, though. Maybe the next wave.
MVP, minion valuable player. A minion is a baby Mercury.
They used to be. They look different now.
Rapper going to jump on in, cage up Cherryo and Nika. Nika uses Phantom, gets on out. Dardez in trouble. Aegis is good. CaptainTwig says no. Takes one to the sky. Xaliea puts down the Hunter. FrostiaK trying to cut through everybody. The special delivery will bring him to Xaliea. 2-on-2 here for mousesports. Now it's going to be a complete turnaround. Oh, baby. Oh, Bay Alliance coming right on through, and BMT tastes the spicy side.
That's 3 dead. mousesports are getting dove under their own tier 2 tower. A beautiful blink originally from PrettyPriMe that set that up as Cherryo trying to dance around his own tier 2 tower. The rest of Obey Alliance thinking about what they want to do is they're going to focus out Nika. A lot of movement speed onto CaptainTwig after the Mink form. A little bit of a root now, but it's only a delay tactic. Nika is dead to rights.
Yeah, this is CaptainTwig's 8th kill of the contest. Cherryo a little bit more resilient. Tank boots, 21 prots, some help from the Pestilence, Sovereignty. Yeah, he's gonna take forever to die. But the rest of the team taking care of the Fire Giant. So it's all well and good.
It was only Cherryo up alive after 4 kills. Obey Alliance really making it happen. Showing up to play, and I like their boldness by going for this Odin first pick up against a Mercury. We could definitely see that at the LAN setting where teams are going to be in a huge best of 3, best of 5 setting, and the meta is going to shift. Odin first pick, maybe even Odin first ban.
The ring does a great job of cutting down his mobility, shuts down his attack speed as well. Cherryo caught up in the ring, PrettyPriMe trying to deal damage, but again, it's BigManTingz, the focal point of CaptainTwig. 9-11 for Ben Knight, make that 10! Double trip skis for the Erlang Shen, the jungler, out of control. 27 in total for Obey Alliance, and CaptainTwig might have just delivered this win to Obey right there.
Still 2 more towers remaining and Phoenixes, but Obey don't care. They have all 5 members, only against Nika, only against Dardez. The bear trying to fight outside the room, but he is stuck. He's knocked up and he's taken out. Now it's only a lonely Dardez playing the ROM to hold suit.
Raffer's gonna look at him with the Titan half HP already. Obey! Oh, Benjamin! Fantastic performance. Absolutely fantastic performance by CaptainTwig. 11, 2, and 12.
Wow.
On the jungle Erlang Shen. Just what do you do there?
Honestly, Obey Alliance playing lights out in game number 3. I think a lot of it came down to the Odin more than it did, honestly, from CaptainTwig, because they baited out the Mercury. They're able to shut him down at several moments, and with the chase potential, I think between the control from Xaliea and the AoE damage outright from PrettyPriMe, the team fights was heavily in Obey's favor.
You know, this was really cut and dry. You know, American football has a different setup for offense and defense, different players on the field, I mean. And that's kind of what this felt like, where the defense came out and it was all Raffer needing to control FrostiaK, making sure he wasn't able to do anything. And then it was CaptainTwig killing everybody else.
That's true.
And it was just one side for each other. Teammates come through in the clutch as well. Obey Alliance looking really strong there against Mouse in game number 3.
And the thing was, the way they started off the laning phase in the dual lane was important to not allow this Naja ROM to get off to an early start, right? Preventing the purple buff invade from coming through. Ataraxia picked up his own red buff, transitioned into the laning phase where Raffer boldly walked in 1v2 against 2 players, even against a whole wave, just to delay it ever so slightly.
Very good performance there from Benjamin Knight. Gotta give him credit. I love what the jungler was able to do. Obey takes this one in 3 games. Finch, break it down.
I'd be happy to, Tom. Thank you for passing it over. Finch and Taco here on the desk as we close it out. Obey with a very strong win, and all that God-given talent certainly helped Twig look pretty strong.
God-given talent leads to pretty fantastic game endings, if you ask me, Finch. That cage and everything that followed afterwards was all Obey. That was exactly what they were planning for from the get-go, the moment that they had this Odin, and this time we finally had a chance to really see the cage come to fruition.
Yeah, I think it worked much better for them. I was a little bit surprised they were willing to go back to it for Raffer here again, but much, much better in game number 3. Twig also with an excellent performance on this Erlang Shen, harassing constantly the backline of mousesports. And now I kind of have to ask this question. There's been some struggles, I feel like, for FrostiaK here in this set. Up until now, I thought he'd look really good, but I'm starting to wonder if he can get it done against the best teams.
I think the problem as well, though, to consider is that Cherryo was rather far behind.
He was
and
not much
Cherryo getting
help.
picked so frequently also impacted FrostiaK's jungle clear because FrostiaK just didn't have as much available to him. Obey were able to actively look for invades, and a lot of those team fights also were putting a lot of pressure onto FrostiaK because he had to have the perfect placement of a sonic boom every single time, or else the team fight was just done for. And there's only so many times that FrostiaK can repeat a solid special delivery or a solid sonic boom setup for the team. At a certain point, I just wish that Mouse had opted for a better setup Guardian for Cherryo, similar to like what they have with the second game on the Sobek. It's just that the Ninja felt very risk versus reward oriented, and this time it was all just the reward for Obey.
Yeah, he's had some struggles this set as well, and I think you might be right that's impacting other parts of the map. But the one who capitalized on it was CaptainTwig himself from Obey, selected as your MVP for his performance in number 3. And one more time, I think you got it right. Chat, you do it right more often than not. Only a couple times you let it slip away. For the most part, y'all are right on the money, and Twig had an excellent game this time, landing the pins, sticking to the targets, and I think showing how to use the Mink form really, really well in this game as well. Bouncing between the Mink form or the knockup as well whenever they needed that. A great performance, I feel like, on the Erlang.
I think that's all it really boiled down to, is that Twig was able to so consistently find picks because of the Mink form and the knockups whenever he had someone else close by. It was always followed up immediately by Ataraxia or PrettyPriMe. He wouldn't ever look for those knockups unless he knew for sure that he had a teammate there to help back him up.
He was doing a perfect job facilitating for the rest of Obey, and that's how they come away with that win. Again, Obey will be in the same spot essentially within the standings, but this is huge for them, right? To look back on the fall split and think we're real contenders now, not like spring and summer where they had some struggles. I think this could be a big motivating factor for them going into placements. This is a team you do not want to face, is this Obey roster.
And I would say the same for Mouse even.
Yes,
I don't think that
so.
any team sitting at home that knows that they're going to be heading into those placement rounds can sit very comfortable after watching this performance between Obey and Mouse. These two teams were still battling it out all the way until the very end. Final set of the fall split officially for the online portion, and
that's right,
didn't make a difference. They were still going right at it, undeterred and ready to try and show that they were more than prepared for those placement rounds.
Very strong performance to at least close it out for EU in the online phase. Let's look back at the matches that we already have saw, and I think we still have some ones coming up tomorrow for North America. Splice up against Trifecta, CLG up against LG. Splice, I was going to say some of our bottom 4 teams. That is not the truth any longer. Splice, one of our top 2 teams. Absolutely a strong performance from them. And they did it in that set Wednesday. You can see it right there with a 2-1 Space Station.
And with how the fall split started off for Splice, too, you would have never guessed it. That initial trend swap with Moswell coming in for best. I think a lot of people had kind of written Splice off from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Moswell just starts snapping. And that's really all it takes, I think. Splice seemed to have really found their groove. And best of luck to them, because we won't be seeing them again after this set until Worlds.
That's right. They've earned their spot on through. In fact, let's put it up there in bright lights. That second place spot belongs to Splice, earned after they took down Space Station Gaming. In fact, they can improve to 8-2 with that game they're playing a little bit later on, so they're not even done looking good yet. We just talked about it over there in Europe. Energy and Dignitas have already confirmed their spots. They'll be the top through. Obey right there with them, just not quite as good of a plus-minus. And that's important. This is why I talked about how important that set with Mouse was. Look how close Obey really, truly were. They're that good this split. Better than what we saw from Rival, at least in the online phase.
If Obey didn't go all 3 games on their earlier set this week, they would have been able to still topple Energy, I believe. So that was the main win or win condition, I think, for Energy, was for Obey to have to go all 3, and they just happened to be forced into it.
Yeah, I think Obey would need to 4-0 to even be close in that plus-minus. So very strong performance. They couldn't quite get there. Remember, all the teams, though, are trying to fight their way towards HRX. It's happening at DreamHack in November the 16th through the 18th, but you'll be able to get there much more easily. Just go to hi-rezexpo.com. Those tickets are on sale right now. I'm pulling it up on my laptop I'm working off of. Pull it up on yours as well. Get those tickets right now, because I will be there, and you don't want to miss out on the crisp handshakes. You don't want to miss out on getting to see the totally dance moves. Taco will be there. I believe she's a shifty, shadowy figure, so we never know really where she's going to be at any given moment. I don't know why I built
Well,
you
when
up
it
like
involves going outside, I mean, I completely understand the
That's
description
true.
entirely. But speaking of being outside and out and about, you guys can definitely catch me out and about at the after party event, where I will be happy to unwind with the rest of you guys and really looking forward to being able to meet everybody. But this is an opportunity that I think you're going to want to take us up on, because the after party gets pretty crazy.
It absolutely does. A very fun event that you're not going to want to miss out on even a moment of. Go to hrxafterparty.eventbrite.com to make sure you get your tickets to that. If you are at DreamHack, I will accept no excuse for you not being here. Make sure you come to the after party so we can all hang out. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to DreamHack. I'm looking forward to the games, placement, stages. What a time to be a Smite fan right now, man.
There is a lot of action coming
Yeah.
up in the next month and a half, Finch, and
Busy.
I'm not even sure that we're quite ready for it just yet. We've got a lot of grinding to put in still to try and prep everything for leading up to the Worlds.
That's right. It's going to be a big event. We're going to be going through, like you said, a bunch of scenarios and data and all that stuff to make sure we're as ready as we can be for y'all here, too. So we appreciate you all out there watching in chat. Thank you so much for being there, as always. Make sure you're back here again tomorrow for the SML in NA, then the SPL as well. And as always, thank you for watching.